Hey there, everyone, and welcome back to my channel where I talk about all things automation and AI. If you're new here, my name is Sierra, and I am the founder of Botterra AI, a company that is on a mission to help people like you succeed in AI automation. Today, I've got something really special for you because if you're looking to get into AI automation and want to start selling chatbots, you're in the right place. We're going to be exploring the top 5 niche markets where chatbots can make a huge difference impacting and bringing in clients for your automation agency. I can promise you that not all niches and industries are created equal. Some value chatbot services more than others, and today I want to show you which ones to focus on to maximize your success. Chatbots in these niches could sell for thousands of dollars, making it a highly profitable venture, and I want to make sure that you can capitalize on that. So I'll be explaining why these markets are perfect for chatbot development and how you can start selling them by walking you through what different features each of these niches like to see in their chatbot so that it's easy for you to sell. I'll be explaining why these markets are perfect for selling chatbots and how you can start selling them in these specific markets. I'm going to be using data and my own personal experience to walk you through why I really like these markets. And as a thank you for watching, I'm offering you exclusive access to the templates that I use for the niches that we're covering in these videos. I'm offering you access to chatbots that I've used for my own clients and that I promise you I would use myself. These chatbots are built using VoiceFlow, which is my favorite AI agent building platform to ensure that they are powerful, customizable, and easy to integrate into any business. Honestly, I've used a lot of different chatbot builders, and this one is by far my favorite. I think it is the best. I really, really like their product. And as you can see, it's super easy to customize, to build things on. And I have lots of other tutorials on how I build out these templates more in detail. So if you want to check those out, make sure that you go and subscribe and check out those different videos. The potential to make money in this industry is enormous and it's growing. And I'm here to walk you through each step of the way. So stick around because by the end of this video, you'll have the insights and tools that you might need to tap into this lucrative market with powerful chatbot solutions. So let's go ahead and get started. So I went ahead and curated a full visual presentation for you to follow along with that walks through all of my top niche markets to get started with chatbot development. Now, this isn't just based off of what I think or willy-nilly things. I'm basing this off of things that are literal facts and my own personal experience with my own clients. I'm going to be showing you some statistics on these different markets and take with them as you will. Do more research on the specific market you want to get into, but I'm just going to give you like a quick summary of what these markets actually look like. And then I'm going to show you what functionalities of chatbots and what features of chatbots people in these industries tend to value from my own personal experience with clients. So let's just go ahead and jump into the first niche market that I recommend you get started in. Number 1 is real estate. So the facts about this industry is that there are 1.5 million real estate agents in the United States alone and 164,000 real estate brokerages. So that means that this is a pretty big market, but the good thing about it is that you can replicate what you make over and over and over again. So each chatbot that you make for a real estate company, you can remake and use that same one for another company, change a few things, and use it over and over again. And as we can see, this is a pretty large market with a lot of businesses that are in it that can utilize chatbots. My philosophy is that if you have a website, if there's a business that has a website, they can benefit from having a chatbot. But I found that real estate specifically benefits heavily. So let's go ahead and see what real estate companies are looking for in a chatbot. Number 1 is lead generation. So when somebody comes to your website, you want to reduce the friction that it takes for them to get in touch with you, to buy something from you, to schedule a call with you. And that's exactly what chatbots do. When it pops up on the screen, it provides an opportunity for people who need to get started to reduce the friction for them to actually purchase or make a deal with you. So that's the first thing that I found they really value is generating leads. Next is managing FAQs. Again, when you're managing FAQs with a chatbot, instead of having somebody calling these agents or emailing these agents about random questions that might already be on the website, we're reducing the friction for them to find that information. A lot of the times when people are looking for FAQs, they're already on the website. It's just that it takes too many clicks or too many scrolls to find that information. And one great functionality of chatbots is that they can answer questions for you based off of things that they scrape off of a real estate agent's website. So that's another value that these real estate agencies really appreciate. Next, we have property recommendations. I found that a lot of real estate companies like when somebody can open a chatbot, type in what type of property they're looking for, and it outputs some new properties that they could potentially buy. That's a functionality that is a little bit more advanced to build out, but in the template that I'm providing you, it walks you through and already built out that automation for you. But I found that a lot of these companies really do value property recommendation functionality. Lastly, we have scheduling. Real estate agents have to schedule all sorts of things, whether it be a call, a property showing. So if you can find a way to have a chatbot on their website that automates that process and makes it easier for them so they can spend less time on the phone and more time focusing on the things that really matter, they will find tremendous value in it. Awesome. Next, we have e-commerce. And a lot of people like to say, oh, e-commerce is so saturated. There's too many people trying to sell things in e-commerce. That is not true, and you can tell by the statistic here on the left. There's 26.5 million e-commerce companies in the entire world. The reason that this market might feel saturated is just because there are so many businesses and so many clients for people to find. And let's be honest here, people who are selling AI services are at an advantage right now because we can see in this second statistic that 60% e-commerce or retail companies are planning to implement AI. And that is of 2024. And a little extra about this statistic that I didn't include in here is that they're planning to do that in the next 18 months. And I found this statistic, and this survey was actually taken in May of 2024. So right now is prime time to go and start selling these services to e-commerce businesses because there are so many of them out there, and they're all, or the majority of them, are looking for some AI services like chatbots and automations. So with that in mind, what exactly are these e-commerce companies looking for when you sell them a chatbot? Well, from my personal experience, product recommendation is a really big deal. I feel like that's kind of obvious. They're trying to sell stuff, and your chatbot better make it easy for their customers to buy stuff off of their website. So when I type in, hey, I'm looking to buy a sweatshirt, I want the inventory to show me all of the sweatshirts, and I want to see that on the chatbot so that I don't have to scroll through or search through a bunch of different products. I want it to recommend it for me when I ask it a question. Next up, we have managing FAQs. And this kind of ties into the other three things. When you're managing FAQs, you want there to be an opportunity for the user to go to their help desk. A lot of these bigger e-commerce companies have help desks that are set up where people can contact and be in contact with a person when things go sideways. Also, when we're managing FAQs, we also want to make sure that we're providing help doc finding. So a lot of these e-commerce companies have documentation already for how to make returns, what their return policy might be, what happens if my sweatshirt comes with a hole in it, everything like that. It's already written up, and you can train these chatbots on all of that information so that when you ask it a question, it can summarize what it finds in these help docs and also point you to the right direction to go read that original documentation. I have personally found that when I make chatbots with these functionalities, that is what these business owners want. That is what they think is ideal. It's really the most helpful things for them. And obviously, each client is different. Maybe one wants different things than others. But like I said, this steers you in the right direction to where if you're trying to sell to an e-commerce business owner, I highly recommend that you try to sell them on these main functionalities. Next, we have construction. Now, the construction industry might be smaller than the e-commerce industry, but it is still a really great niche. And here's why. The construction industry has 919,000 companies in the United States alone. So say you're somebody who's not based in the US, I can assure you that there's still construction companies all over the place. People need houses, people need buildings. It's something that is a commodity. And on top of that, there is a $12 billion market value in construction software globally. So it's clear that these construction companies are spending money on different software and different applications. And let's be honest, everyone is pouncing on artificial intelligence right now. So if you can pitch to a construction company and say, hey, I have this little widget that you can add to your website that can help make it easier for people visiting your website, get in contact with you, sign contracts, answer questions so that you can spend less time texting, on the phone, or on calls, I can tell you right now that construction companies will pounce right on that. So with that in mind, what I found in my own experience is honestly, this is pretty similar to other industries, but they're looking for lead generation Obviously, the construction companies need customers. This is the paramount of every company. They're trying to make money. So your chatbot should reduce the friction and make it easier for these construction companies to make money. Generate leads, collect names, collect emails, make it easy for them to get in contact with the company. Everything like that is really important. Now, in addition to that, you want to make it as easy as possible for the users of the chat to find the construction company's services. Typically, when customers are looking for a construction company, they're not just looking at one. They're going to compare lots of different ones, and you want the chatbot to act as like a virtual salesperson. You want them to convince the user why the specific construction company that you're making this chatbot for is the best option. You want to convince them as to why they have the best services, and you want to sell them on what this company has to offer. So helping the user find the services, but also taking it that step above and almost treating the chatbot like a virtual salesperson is pretty important. Now, obviously, everyone doesn't like having sales pitches thrown at them all the time, so be discreet about it, but definitely try to make sure that the chatbot is advertising the company's services as the best way possible. Next, we have scheduling. Like a lot of these different niches, there's a lot of scheduling that goes on for construction companies. They're doing consultations, they're doing meetings with potential clients, they're doing meetings with current clients. You want to make that process easy so they spend less time on the phone, less time emailing, less time messaging, and more time doing what they do best, which is construction work. Next, we have dental offices. Now, as you can see here, dental offices in the United States, there are 135,000 approximately. And that's honestly a lot, and that's just in the US. And this market is worth 136 billion just in the US. And this tells me something very specific because you'll notice that there are fewer like practices and establishments in this specific niche, but there is a very high valuation for dental offices and dental practices. So this tells me a lot of the times, and this may not be the most accurate for every niche, but at least in dentistry, I've noticed that they're good clients because they have money. A dental office might have a little bit more money to spend on things like chatbots than, say, a kid who's just getting started in e-commerce as an entrepreneur. So it's important to recognize when you're choosing a specific niche or a specific client, how much money do they actually have to spend on the services that I'm offering? It would suck if you got someone who's interested in your services, but they have no money to give you and nothing to offer you in exchange for your hard work. So that's one reason why I really like this industry and why I put it in my top 5. So what do dental offices really look for? In my experience, you're going to notice a lot of common themes here. They like lead generation. Like every other business, they're trying to sell stuff. We're getting on to a common theme here you might be catching on at this point. They also like having their FAQs managed. People have questions, lots of questions, and a lot of times they're already on the website. And to reduce the load that the receptionist has to deal with and to reduce the load of repetitive questions the receptionist might have to deal with via email or call, you can automate that using the chatbot so that the receptionist or even the dentist themselves can manage their time better and spend it on more important tasks. Obviously, very similar to the construction companies, you want to make it easy for them to find services. Like I mentioned, each dental office might offer different services. Some might offer braces, some might not. Some might work with children, some might not. So you want to make sure that you're kind of pitching why your services are better than another company's. And that's honestly really important. That's something that they're looking for. As I mentioned, for construction companies, when people are looking for a dentist, a lot of the time they're comparing different dentists. So you want to make sure that it's kind of like a salesperson, is what I had mentioned previously for the construction chatbot. And as you can see, another similarity is scheduling. There's a lot of scheduling that goes on for dental offices. People have questions, people have appointments, people need to change appointments. So you want to make that process easy as possible. You want the dentist to focus on doing dental things and people calling to find the answers that they need and be able to schedule quickly without having to jump through a bunch of hoops. So these are the 4 most important things, and you'll probably notice it's a lot similar to some of the other things we've talked about before. And last but not least, we have influencers and online coaches. Now, this is one of my favorite niches because a lot of people don't cover it. You might notice if you've watched other YouTube videos similar to this one that a lot of people recommend those 4 niches, but this is one that I rarely see and I think is not tapped into. So you'll notice that the statistics and facts that I'm using for this specific niche are a little bit different than some of the other ones, but 49% of influencers utilize selling online coaching and consulting. And the next statistic is that they spend 9 hours on social media. So if you're an influencer that is 50,000 or more followers, they typically spend 9 hours on their social media. Now, you'll notice that these statistics are a little bit different, and especially the one on the right, we're not talking about market valuation here. We're talking about time. For influencers and online coaches, and honestly, every niche, their time is money. And for people who are influencers and online coaches, especially, their time is very, very much so the most important thing for them. They need to make sure they're maximizing the time that they are spending doing things. So that kind of gets into the main things that they look for in a chatbot. Number one is obviously selling more. This is a common theme. They want to make sure that they're selling more of their online services, that they're getting more meetings scheduled, that they're selling more of their products, their merchandise, whatever it is that they're trying to sell. You want the chatbot, like some of the other ones I mentioned before, to be like a salesperson. You want it to make it easy for them to sell their stuff. Next, the automated messaging and DMs is really important, and this ties into why their time is so valuable. Now, you notice that they spend 9 hours on their social media. Well, if you don't know this yet, chatbots are able to, and specifically voice flow chatbots, are able to be connected to things like Instagram via APIs or platforms like Make.com and Zapier. Now, what automating somebody's Instagram messages or WhatsApp messages can do is it can allow them to be more interactive people on social media. So what happens here is they're constantly messaging people, they're constantly answering DMs, trying to expand their reach, trying to stay in touch with their followers and everything like that, with people who are interested in maybe their services or what they offer. And it's time consuming. It keeps them from doing the different things that they need to do, like trying to find brand deals, trying to make new content, and everything in between. It's a lot to keep track of. That's a 9-hour workday that we're trying to keep them away from. And by automating their messages and DMs, we're saving them time, but we're also expanding their reach. We're allowing them to interact more with their followers or their potential clients and everything in between. So by making sure that we're automating their DMs via chatbots, we're expanding their reach. And by automating their messaging and DMs, we can also automate their scheduling. If you can find ways to make Instagram chatbots, and the chatbot that I'm providing you, you can actually use different things like Voice Glow or Make.com and stuff like that to automate setting that up with Instagram. And if you want a tutorial on that, let me know in the description. But by automating and connecting it to their social medias, you can help them with all of the things that I've mentioned in here. You can help them sell more, expand their reach, and do scheduling. So automating their messaging and DMs is honestly super duper important. It's one of the most important things that they look for. And you can notice that a lot of the other things are pretty similar to other things that these other niches are looking for. If you'll notice, there is a trend here. But again, saving them time is making them money, and that is something that they value. Everyone wants monetary value. Everyone wants to get a return on their investment in the services you offer. So I've noticed that these are the most valuable things that they could ask for. All right, well, that is the summary to my video. Thank you so very much for watching. Be sure to check me out at botterra.ai. And I just want to make sure that you don't forget, as I mentioned earlier in the video, as a thank you and as a gift for joining me today, I'm going to be giving you exclusive access to some of my automation templates that I use for my own clients, and you'll be getting a significant discount for joining me today on this specific video. All of the different niches that we talked about earlier, I have templates for that I am providing you that I've used for my own clients and that I have made myself. All of them are super duper detailed. I would never try to give you a template that I wouldn't use myself. And as you can see, they're super duper detailed, provide all of the things that you need to be successful in these specific niches. So make sure to go check that out. Get the discount code in the description. And thank you so much for joining me today. Let me know if there's any specific tutorials that you want coming up here. I'm always listening out for feedback, and I hope to see you in the next one.